Hey, baseball wildlifers, happy Friday. How we all doing? Everybody's working for the weekend, and guess what? The weekend is here. Unfortunately for Albert Pujols, he will not be working for anybody this weekend, as the Angels have designated the future Hall of Famer for assignment on Thursday. And who would have believed it? The 41-year-old's playing future is now in limbo. He was in the final year of an historic 10-year, $253 million deal. What big news that was when he signed that contract. That includes a 10-year, $10 million personal service contract once his playing days are over. I guess it was only a matter of time, and Angel GM Perry Manassian said it a move. There's never a right time for something like this. Obviously, I have all the respect in the world for what type of player he is. This is more about playing time and who we have. Now, Manassian said the baseball operations department had been discussing Pujols' future for the past 2 weeks, and they ultimately decided that Jared Walsh was the club's best option at first base, and he is quite a hitter, so I can see the point there. And with Shohei Ohtani locked in as a designated hitter, and there aren't that many better than him now, there's very few at-bats left for Pujols, who still views himself as an everyday player. Manassian even said Albert is not a bench player. We felt like for him, with respect to him, keeping on the bench, him not getting in playing time would not do him any good or the team any good. It's never a good time for this, but with that being said, we felt like it was the best thing for the organization. Now, in a statement released earlier in the day, Angels owner Artie Moreno lauded Pujols for his contribution to the Angels both on and off the field during his decade in Anaheim. He said the Angel organization proudly signed Albert Pujols in 2011 and are honored that he has worn an Angel jersey for nearly half of his Hall of Fame career. Albert's historical accomplishments, both on and off the field, serve as inspiration to athletes everywhere, and his actions define what it means to be a true superstar. Since his Rookie of the Year season in 2001, Albert and his wife, Deidre, have generously given their time and resources to countless charities throughout the world. We are thankful to the entire Pujols family. Now, he was not in the lineup Wednesday against Ryan Yarbrough, and Madden told Pujols last week that he would see the bulk of the playing time this week, but as the manager said Thursday, things change, and that prompted Madden to have another discussion with Pujols on Wednesday. After the game, Pujols met with Manassian and team president Joe Carpino, telling the pair that he was not ready to retire as a player, even if the Angels felt he wasn't the best option for them at the current time. Manassian said he's professional as any player I've ever dealt with. There was no fight. There was no argument. This was a conversation that went back and forth. He expressed his feelings. We expressed ours. He understood where we stood on the whole situation. Things did not end bad. I gave him a big hug. Carpino said, you always want a player to have a last hurrah or have something. Albert threw that decision back to us, and then we made the decision from there. Never ends the way that you really wanted to, but he handled it like a pro. Now, Pujols still hasn't released any type of statement yet as of last night, but he is trying to go ahead and sign with another team once he clears waivers. Manassian said he's as motivated as he's ever been. I think if the situation were different and there were at-bats for him to play here, it would be different. If he does go somewhere else or pursue playing somewhere else, I would not bet against him. Even Madden said everybody will tell you the same thing if you watch Albert work. It's pretty impressive. He's been around for a bit. He's been playing for a while, but he came to the ballpark with the same zeal on a daily basis. That's what I saw. The guy wanted to play. He wants to be on the field. He does not want to be a bench player of any kind. This guy has a lot of pride, and that's a big reason why he's going to be a first ballot unanimous Hall of Famer. Now, Pujols leads all major leaguers with 600 active major leaguers with 667 home runs, 2,102 RBIs, 3,253 hits, and 2,886 games played. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be in Cooperstown on the first ballot. He ranks fifth on the all-time home run list, and he just passed birthday boy Willie Mays last season. Believe it or not, he wasn't drafted until the 13th round of the MLB draft, but that didn't stop from helping St. Louis to 3 World Series winning championships in 2006 and 2011. And he was Rookie of the Year in 2001 and MLB MVP in 2005, 8, and 9. He was an all-star in 9 of his first 10 seasons. He left St. Louis as a free agent after the Cards' 2011 championship season. and he inked that big contract with the Angels. Just with St. Louis alone, he left with 445 homers and 1,329 RBIs in 1,705 games. That ranks second to only Hall of Fame Stan Musial in franchise history in both categories. And his OPS of 1.037 only trailed Mark McGwire, who had a 1.111. He did remain productive in Los Angeles, but was never his MVP self with his 9 years with the Angels. He had 222 homers, 703 RBIs, and 758 OPS in 1,181 games. The only All-Star season he had came in 2015 when he hit 40 home runs, one of 3 30-plus homer seasons for him in L.A. He did have some memorable moments with the Angels, hitting his 500th and 600 home runs, as well as collecting his 3,000th hit. So where this leads Albert, I don't know. With the Angels this year, he had 5 homers and 12 homer RBIs, batting 198, 250 on base, and 372 slugging average. So it's tough to say. There's probably still some pop in his bat, but it's not the Albert Pujols we know. But we'll see. Baseball's going to miss him if he doesn't continue on. He was quite a beast. One of the greatest sluggers we'll ever see, that's for sure. And speaking of beasts, I mean that affectionately, Shohei Ohtani, Albert's teammate. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why Albert's not going to be playing with the Angels anymore. He was back in the lineup on Thursday, and he made his presence felt early in LA's 8-3 loss to the Rays. The Angels' DH jumped on a first-pitch fastball from Josh Fleming in the bottom of the third inning, and he killed it. He killed it 428 feet to right center for a 2-run shot. Now, this homer was his 10th of the season for Ohtani, putting him in a tie for the Major League lead with J.D. Martinez and Ronald Acuña Jr. Those are 3 great players. Ohtani's homer came off the bat at 107.6 miles per hour the day after he's pumping in 99-mile-plus heat while pitching on the mound. So this guy is pure speed, whether he's pitching or hitting. The two-way phenom has already surpassed his home run total from last season when he hit 9 in 44 games. His pair of RBIs up to total of 24, and that's tied for 4th most in the American League. His second knock of the night was of the odder variety. He rolled over a ground ball to first base that looked like a routine out until it hit the bag, and it kicked high into the air and over the head of Yandy Diaz. That was, if you were watching the game, it was funny. It was funny, but when you're good, things like that happen to you. And Shohei is giving so much fresh air to the game of baseball this year. So refreshing to see. And now let's talk about Ronald Acuña Jr., who we had just mentioned. What a year he's having. And the thing about Ronald Acuña, he's not only getting better as a hitter, he's getting much better as a smarter hitter. And his whiff rate has really been cut dramatically. And that's one of the reasons why you put the ball in play, you're going to be getting the job done. And he's now batting .327 with a .424 on base percentage, .702 slugging percentage. So now he's leading or tied for the lead in the majors in runs and home runs. So you know he has arrived. He is a superstar. And he is getting off to one of the great starts in baseball history, him and Mike Trout. And it's just an inevitable progression. A player who's just turned 23 years old in December, and people saw greatness coming from him a mile away. Is it a hot streak? Or is he really this good? I think it's a little bit of both. But like I said, he continues to get better and better. And as you can see on the graph here, while the rest of the sport is striking out more, Acuña is striking out less. He had a 30% strikeout rate last year, and he's down to 13% this year, which is the 3rd largest drop in baseball. And that's basically attributed to his plate discipline. He is not chasing the ball anymore. So when you can hit the ball that well and not be chasing it, you are going to be one dangerous beep. Yeah, well, sorry for the curse word there. I guess I got edited there. But this is going to be making him so scary. I mean, He's laying off the bad pitches. The pitchers are trying to get him to fish, and he's not doing it. And he keeps this up, he is just going to destroy the major leagues this year. I can't see him not doing it. Now, the thing about Acuna is he is at a level where he is just smashing the fastballs. But not only that, he is hitting the non-fastball too. So, because he's seeing a lot of off-speed pitches. And with that, he is generating swings and not missing the ball. And when the breaking ball isn't good to his eye, he's just not swinging. So if you're like me, you've got to be looking forward to Mr. Acuña and what he has to offer us for the rest of the season. I can't wait. But what we can wait for is injuries to any player. And unfortunately, every day we get more and more injuries coming up. Byron Buxton was hurt yesterday when he was struck again with the injury bug in yesterday's game against the Rangers. He did not run out of ground ball third base in the seventh inning, and on another grounder in the third, he grabbed his leg and hobbled across the bag at first base. He also collided with the wall in center field during the seventh inning while trying to rob a homer, and he was diagnosed with a hip strain. It's not certain at this point how long he will be sidelined. So we may not be seeing Byron Buxton for a few games. We'll see what happens there. And the Mets have been hit with the bug too. Carlos Carrasco is now on the 60-day injured list, and he won't be able to return to the mound May 31st. The Mets said it was nothing to worry about. He's just need a little bit more time to recover. Jake DeGrom was scratched from his start Tuesday. He'll throw from the bullpen Friday, and the Mets are hoping he goes up on the mound on Sunday. And the Mets placed Brandon Nimmo, who was an on-base machine for the Mets so far this year, to 10-day active injured list retroactive to Monday. He has a left-hand bone bruise he suffered on a swing during the club series against Philly this past weekend. Jazz Chisholm, Mr. Excitement for the Marlins. He's been in sideline with a left hamstring strain since April 28th, and he may be nearing a return, so that's good for them. Unfortunately, George Springer was placed back on the 10-day injured list due to a strained right quad, same injury that kept him out of most of April, and that's got to hurt for the Blue Jays. Manager Charlie Montoya said the injury is not severe and more of a fatigue in the quad, but General Manager Ross Atkins said Thursday at Springer's IL stint will probably go longer than 10 days, so that's going to sting a little bit for the Blue Jays. Anthony Rendon, at first we thought it wasn't that serious, but he was placed on the 10-day injury list with a left knee contusion, which he suffered on a foul ball on Monday's game against the Rays. He had an MRI performed on the knee, but Angels didn't reveal what that showed. Justin Upton is also out for them, and Angels just need to turn around quick, if you ask me. Joey Votto fractured his left thumb when he was hit by a pitch from Joey Keuchel yesterday, and he's going to be out at least 3 weeks, and that's tough. Since he was hanging tough, they're playing good, and they could use his bat. Rougned Odor, who's been a pleasant surprise for the Yankees, was placed on the 10-day IL with a left knee sprain when he suffered that awkward collision with Martin Maldonado at home plate Tuesday night in the sixth inning. That was an exciting play. I don't know if you guys got to see it. Luke Voigt, he's on a rehab assignment in AAA, and he's expected to join the Yankees for a road trip that begins on May 11th against the Rays in St. Petersburg. So the way Stanton's hitting, if Voigt can start hitting homers, the Yankees could be pretty dangerous with the long ball. Bryce Harper remained out of the lineup Wednesday for the sixth time in 7 days because of bruised left wrist, and that seems to be lingering. But Joe Girardi said he's making progress. And Jake Arrieta is optimistic that he won't require a minimum 10 days on the injured list before returning to rotation. So, unfortunately, a lot of big names getting hurt. Christian Yelich, a day after returning to Milwaukee's lineup, Yelich went back on the 10-day IL on Tuesday with a lower back strain. And the Chris Sale, he actually threw a few pitches off the mound on Tuesday in Fort Myers, so that's promising. Tommy Listello was placed on the 10-day IL by the Giants. So I think this is going to be the year of the injury here. Team just got to grin and bear it. We'll see what transpires. But it's been a rough road, that's for sure. And let's go back into history. This is one of those moments that everyone remembers for some reason. Bartolo Colon. Bartolo. Remember 5 years ago, he hit that home run against San Diego. Became the oldest player to hit his first home run in a major league game. People still talk about to this day. I'll always remember Gary Cohen's call on that. This is one of the strangest calls of all time. Gary Cohen was losing it there, but it was fun. Bartolo just hit the ball. The Mets vacated dugout when he came back and traveled on arc to left field, and it was fun. It was majestic. I'll never forget. I was watching the game. I remember it was a Saturday afternoon. You had the 7 line out there, the Mets fan base out there, sitting out in right field, and they were going nuts before him, chanting "Big Sexy, Big Sexy, Big Sexy," and then boom, Bartolo delivered. And I always remember Gary Cohen yelling out, "The impossible has happened." In a way, it was impossible, but everyone still talks about it. Like, people forget World Series moments. People forget playoffs. People forget what happened in any given year for a team. But it seems like everybody, even non-Met fans, remember where they were and what happened when Bartolo hit that home run. That's sort of like when Mark Fidrich pitched for the Tigers on that Monday night game against the Yankees. What other weird such Jose Canseco getting them ball hit off his head and going over the wall. You just remember certain oddities in baseball. And this is definitely one of those, that's for sure. Hey, remember we were talking about Pujols and the Angels? Well, how about what they did yesterday? They lost a series to the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, the gutsy, budget-cutting team, knocking off the big-dollar Angels with a sweep. So the Rays just continue to amaze, and the Angels just can't get it done. I mean, it's hard to explain, but the Rays have now won 5 in a row, and that ties their longest winning streak of the season, and it completed Tampa Bay's first 4-game sweep since August 10-13 in Boston, and only the club's second such sweep on the road since taking 4 in a row from August 16th to 19th against the Angels, too. So crazy things happen in baseball. I would never have bet that the Rays would sweep the Angels at home 4 games. So, the shit's hitting the fan in Los Angeles with the Angels. And how much more of a string are they going to give Joe Madden there? Then he's got to be on him at this point, I would think. There's so much talent, and they just can't win. I don't watch the Angels as much. I'm sure a lot of you Angel fans or West Coast fans do, but there's got to be something more to this. I mean, the Rays woke up Sunday, last place in the American League, 2 games under 500. And people were questioning their offense after a rough homestand. Then they left the Angel Stadium on a 5-game winning streak, showing they can win games with pitching, defense, and opportunistic offense. Where have we heard that before with them? And the occasional 7-run interruption. So keep an eye on those Rays. They're not going anywhere. I love the Rays. Like I said, they're the poor man's Oakland A's. They do it even better than the Oakland A's, if you ask me. And that AL East is really, everyone's talking about the National League East, but that AL East may be the toughest division in baseball now with the Rays, the Blue Jays, with all that talent they have coming on the horizon. And then you have the Red Sox, who are really living up to their potential. And that is so good to see. It's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. And who doesn't root for the Rays? I know Dodger fans maybe don't, but they're an underdog. They're not the sexy team. They don't draw a lot of eyeballs to the TV set. But I think baseball diehards can really appreciate what they do. And talking about appreciating what someone can do, how about we talk about Gleyber Torres? What did he do yesterday, you're saying, Uncle Stan? Well, he scored from first base on an infield single, and here's how. Torres rounded second base and saw they realizing that the Astros shifted infield had left third base unprotected. Then he spotted catcher Martin Maldonado lumbering up the line toward and the Yankees shortstop determined that his daring dash would end at home plate, and what Aaron Boone called an incredibly heads-up play, Torres scored from first base on Aaron Hicks' infield single, helping the Yankees trim their eighth-inning deficit on Thursday. It didn't save the Yanks at all. They got beat with Altuve with his home run, but they were still buzzing about the play after the game. And in that moment, I know no one was on home plate. I just kept running. I believe Maldonado couldn't run back to home plate, so I just took advantage of the opportunity. You get a chance, check out the replay on that. It was amazing. It just goes to show you when people shift around and all that crap happens, if you're alert, you can take advantage of this situation. So hats off to Gleyber Torres. It was indeed a Gleyber day for Gleyber. And Jose Altuve, he got his revenge. They lost the series, but he was hearing the jeers from the Yankee fans. But on a full count fastball well above the strike zone, Altuve smoked a go-ahead 3-run homer to lift the Astros to a 7-4 win. So he left the Bronx with a little bit of a smile on his face and a little bit of revenge. And it was his birthday yesterday. Altuve's now 31, and it snapped his 3-for-32 skid in a big way, so maybe he's going to turn it around. They need him, that's for sure. Houston, I think their slump coincided with Altuve's slump, and they need him, that's for sure. And Astros were able to rough up the Yankee relief corps, and they were pitching great coming into the game. Entered the day with a 9-inning scoreless streak. Had the league's best numbers, ERA 2.24, opponent batting average of 179, or whip of .94. So the relievers were pitching like all-stars. But Chad Green took over for Garrett Cole and just didn't have it. So the Astros won. They saved face and cooled off the Yankees a little bit. But I don't think New York fans will ever forget the Astros scandal, the World Series win, or even the 2017 MVP race that saw Altuve beat out Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge. But yesterday they had the last laugh, and that extended to Thursday's outcome, and which made it even nicer for Jose, who did it on his birthday. And just like we were talking about a sweep by the Tampa Bay Rays, how about those Atlanta Braves? Just when people were questioning what was going on with them, the Braves came to the occasion, and they swept. They swept the Washington Nationals 3-2 on Thursday afternoon at Nationals Park. So they swept one of their division opponents on the road, and that's something he always won. There's always highs and lows, but these streaks happen, and you always want it to happen against a division foe. And they go, believe it or not, for the Braves, it's going to be fun because they enter this weekend against the Phillies. They're 1.5 games back in the National League East. So that's going to be fun. If you get a chance, check out some of those games. I think the Sunday night games on ESPN, they even have the StatCast game, which is always fun on ESPN too that night. But, yeah, it was a tight game. But the Braves, maybe they've turned the corner, and we've talked about Ozuna and what he's doing. So it could be happening. Maybe the Braves actually are turning that corner. And look who had a homecoming yesterday. Marcus Semien had a homecoming yesterday, and he did it the right way. He took over the game at Oakland Coliseum. He had a 4-hit game, and he returned with the Blue Jays this week and capped off the homecoming with that 4-hit game, and they won 10-4 yesterday, and he hit his 7th home run of the year. And they're going to need Semien because Springer's on the IL for a second time this season. like I said, these Jays are just stacked. I mean, they are going to be a team, I am telling you, like the White Sox, that are going to probably be the two top teams in the American League. Now, the White Sox have a little bit of better pitching, but just give the Blue Jays, the front office for the Blue Jays seems to get it done, whatever they need. So we'll see what happens there. And this was supposed to be a transition year last year. And they're looking to become a postseason contender in 2020. But the lineup's changed almost every day for the Blue Jays, and they're still doing it. They're in the thick of things with all these injuries and everything. And looks like Simeon's going to be the leadoff batter for a while until Springer's out. But you get those two in the lineup, the top of the lineup, they are two professional ball players who come to play every day, and they're going to be dangerous. Like I said, health is always a big factor in how well you do in the season. And hopefully for the Blue Jays, they can keep everybody happy. And Bo Bichette is really smacking the ball. He had 3 hits yesterday and stole 2 bases. And he looks better and better defensively, too. And I didn't think Bo would be that good a ball player. I expected Guerrero to be an all-star, but Bichette is definitely all-star material. And Teoscar Hernandez, I think because he plays in Toronto or wherever they play in Florida or going to Buffalo, wherever they are, he is a beast at the plate. And he ripped a timely 2-run single to go along with a pair of walks. And even Danny Jansen's off to a slow start offensively. He hit a 423-foot blast to left field. So if everyone starts hitting for them, they are going to be good. And another guy that flies under the radar for them is Randall Grichuk. And he hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning and followed that up with a 2-run double in the 6th. So these Blue Jays are an exciting team. If you like offense, the Blue Jays and the Red Sox in the American League East can give the Yankees a run for their money, that's for sure. And keep an eye on both of them. I'm a National League guy. I like pitching. But when you get so much young talent like the Blue Jays have and professional hitters like the Red Sox have, and the Yankees who basically can hit the ball out of Grand Canyon when they're all healthy, the American League East is going to be fun, and so far it has been. And that about wraps that up. As far as stuff we wanted to talk about today. As always, we'll look over the schedule and the standings. We have Boston in first place, 19-13, game and a half, and back is Tampa Bay, who would qualify for the wild card. Yankees rose keeping the score, homer 2.5 in fourth place. The Indians are in first, 17-13 in the Central. White Sox are just a half game behind. The White Sox would qualify for a wild card. Oakland is 19-14 in first place. Seattle a game and a half back. Looks like Seattle may be starting to fade a little bit, but Oakland hasn't taken advantage of that. And watch out for Houston. Houston may be ready to roll again. How about those Rangers win 7 out of 10 with a 3-game losing streak? Then you got the Angels with a 5-game losing streak. And National League East, we got the Phillies in first, a game ahead of the Mets. Zach Wheeler pitched one hell of a game yesterday, and that's tight. First and last place is only separated by 2.5 games. Cardinals in the first place in the Central, a game ahead of Milwaukee, who would qualify for the wild card. The other 3 teams are under 500. Pittsburgh now back in last place, and unfortunately, I don't see them getting out of that. 3 games out, 13-17. Giants are still in first place. How about that? San Diego's a half game out. Dodgers are 1.5 games out. And Dodgers are in a virtual tie with the wild card for Milwaukee if the season were to end today, and San Diego would qualify for the wild card. Is Colorado the first team we're going to officially count out? They're 6 games out in the division with Frisco, Padres, Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks are only a game on the 500. It may be time to count the Rockies out. Sorry, Colorado fans. Today on the slate, we do have an afternoon game on MLB Network. We have the Pirates 13-17 against the Cubbies. Zach Davies still trying to get it going with the Cubs. He's 1-2 and 8.22 ERA. And Cahill 1-3, 7.40. So you look at that, it looks like runs will be scored. But as you say in baseball, expect the unexpected. That's why you never bet on baseball. And then tonight's a happy Harvey day in Baltimore. Eddie Rodriguez goes for the Red Sox. He's 4-0. ERA a little high, 4.18 against Matt Harvey, 3-1, 4.06. The Nats come in for a 3-game series with the Yankees. The Reds come in against Indians in an Ohio battle, interleague Ohio battle. D-backs come to visit the Mets this weekend. Twins come to visit the Tigers this weekend. Twins need to feast on these Tigers this weekend. 11-19 so far. You never say never, but they got to win these games this weekend. At least sweep the series. That win 2 out of 3, I should say. Milwaukee going against the Marlins, who are always scrappy. Philly invades the Braves. That's going to be a fun series. Mariners visit the Tigers. Tigers are red hot. Mariners are starting to slip a little. Blue Jays coming to visit the Astros. White Sox, Rodon pitching for the White Sox, going against the Royals. Royals still trying to hang in there. Rodon 4-0, 0.72 ERA. Cardinals host the Rockies. Cardinals did not look fundamentally sound that Mets series. I don't know if you saw any of that. But Jack Flaherty, 5-0, 5 wins. That's unheard of in this day and age. 3.41 ERA going on the mound today for the Cards. And then the Dodgers, freeway series, Dodgers and Angels. That should be fun. Urias going for the Dodgers, 4.0 with a 2.87 ERA. The Rays and the A's, 2 scrappy teams that know how to play Moneyball, are going at it for the weekend. And then we have the Padres and Giants with a battle for first place. That should be a fun one. Matt Snell takes the hill for San Diego. So that is going to wrap things up for us here today. Again, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. Please subscribe to the YouTube cast. Subscribe to the channel here, and you'll get updated when we have a few more every day whenever we have one popping up. And just to let you know, on the works, we have a little special on Pujols coming up. Willie Mays coming up. We're going to dissect John Means' perfect game all on separate episodes. I just need to find the friggin' time to do all this, but it will be coming. But you'll always get your daily updates here, and I really appreciate it. So spread the word. If you're not a member of the group Baseball Way of Life, please join. It's on Facebook, and exactly that, Baseball Way of Life. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, discuss something you want to see on here, or just discuss something in general, shoot me an email at philstan41@gmail.com. Thanks for everything. I really appreciate your support. Enjoy the baseball today, and we'll talk again tomorrow.